YouTube and soon to be Twitch. I just gotta change the title. If you didn't know, this is a VOD. I have been just like lightly collecting some topics. I've been debating on making a type of content that I normally don't make. More of like a discussion piece. I don't know, maybe a video essay, if you will, but I don't know. My tone of talking doesn't really fit that genre, I feel, or like my cadence. Regardless, I've been kind of feeling like I need to make a video discussing this for a while. I talked about this last Sunday, and in the meantime, since I've been sort of just kind of trying to collect my talking points, I don't know if I'm really gonna make a script per se, because I feel like I can sort of go off the cuff on this stuff pretty easily, but I have a couple like examples that I probably need to research a bit more. I started 44 seconds ago. It's crazy. That's part of the notification squad right there, bro. But I've been debating talking about like the title of the stream, the title of this VOD, about, you know, this claim of laziness that I'm seeing a lot with like creators. Like, I'm sorry to say it, like people on YouTube, creators on YouTube making stuff and calling developers lazy and calling out stuff like DLSS and FSR and frame generation and upscaling as a whole as sort of like this write-off for devs to be lazy about their optimization or to make things run worse. Factory, Giancarlo, 100% factory. Because then you can predict spawns and then just go crazy with impacts. You can do it in the office hallway. That's a really good place to do it. Because you just chuck them down range and they have very little time before they explode. Anyway, there's been this claim for a while about the devs being lazy, and it's so. My issue with it is that a lot of people who are saying this sounds so like biased. Where this makes me sound this makes me sound like I'm putting myself on some sort of high horse, which is why I don't know how I'm gonna really say this in the video, but it feels like they just don't understand. They don't understand what DLSS is doing. They don't understand the different parts. They don't understand the fact that these upscalers are only helping when you're GPU bound. So they can't, to a certain extent, they can help with optimization, but when it comes to CPU bottlenecks, it's not doing a damn thing unless we count frame generation as doing a damn thing. But that's its own discussion in and of itself. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just people trying to be, just trying to have something to yell at, to have a scapegoat for bad performance in given titles, and that's fine. I know people, it's the internet, right? Like, I can't take every single piece of rage bait that gets thrown my way, but to a certain extent, I mean, this is what I do on my channel, you know? I feel like with what I've done so far with, you know, PC Sherpa and helping people out live and getting to see some of the reasons why people's performance has been dog shit over like the past year I've been doing this. I mean, Jesus, it's been years. I feel like that gives me a unique perspective because there's more things to it, at least on the user side, than just, oh, game runs like shit. Oh, it's DLSS. Oh, the devs have FSR in their game. Oh, that's what it is. They want you to use FSR, and it's like and the worst thing is that all the creators in the United States of America, in the world, are just like, all right, guy, yep, that's it. Fuck that. Screw that technology in particular. That, and then, oh. And that goes in the other thing where it's like, oh, you know, I just need to let you know that, I actually lost that train of thought, shit. Oh yeah. Unreal Engine 5 is the fucking worst engine in the entire fucking video game industry. Back in 1985, we didn't have any of this bullshit. We were playing Pong, no anti-aliasing, no TAA, no DLSS, no FSR. It's like arguments like that where it's just like, oh, okay, so we're comparing like graphics from like a 16, 17-year-old game. Genuinely, I've seen this as a talking point where they're like, dude, Skyrim doesn't have this issue. Oblivion doesn't have this anti-aliasing issue, but look at Stalker 2, huh? And it's like, okay. It's like, okay, all right, sure, bro. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. Back in my day, I didn't have an issue with anti-aliasing on Star Wars Battlefront 2 on my PlayStation 2 in 2007, okay? But that doesn't, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just, like, cherry-picking arguments to make you feel better and then just regurgitating the same shit over and over again in a video, like a video essay format. And I've been watching a lot of these recently to, like, grasp the argument in my head. And when I try to like follow it, I write down their points. Like it just keeps going back to the same thing. It just keeps going back to those like points of like, oh shit, I forgot to ping the Discord. Live ranting about scapegoating in PC optimization. Boom. Oh, I need to make sure I get the link. Is this the right link? Okay. But it goes back to a lot of this, like, it keeps going around in some of these videos. And I don't want to call them out. Like, when I make my video about it, I'm not going to call them out. Was that supposed to be a British accent? I don't even know what that was. It was supposed to be like a widowy nerd, but it just didn't really come out right. Hey, what's up, D-Space? What did I miss? Hey, Clem, I hope you're doing well. Could I DM you a clip of a visual bug I had on Tarkov and you can maybe tell me what's causing it? Is it the shadows flickering? Did I call it before you even posted it? There's no argument. I find it simple. There isn't anything inherently wrong with DLSS or FSR, but it also doesn't exclude poor optimization, as in I feel there's anything wrong with... Well, here's the issue. Here's the issue, right? What are we even like? What is in order to argue this point? And this is what I've seen as a flaw in a lot of these like video essay-esque. Also, I gotta make a registry edit to do this easier. I just need to save it. Oh, I just completely fucked that up. There we go. But I'll restart. But the argument that I'm seeing a lot is like, oh, not shadows flickering. Sometimes people and things like guns leave a blurry trail behind them. Are you using aggressive DLSS or FSR? Because that could be from that. Stuart, what's up, man? Welcome back. Oh yeah, Indy, by the way, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that. If you didn't know, we're on YouTube and Twitch, by the way. That's part of the issue, Ghost. They need to define optimization. They need to define what's optimized, what's not optimized. Oh, then sure, Bone. Yeah, I can take a look. Could be from TAA. But there needs to be a definition of that. Because when I see these channels talking about, oh, like, this game, you can't even max out this game on a 4090. They bring up that argument, but I feel like they miss the point. They miss, like, how there's always been games that have pushed that boundary and have been harder to run. Like, that's what Crysis was. Or sorry, Crysis 3 was when it came out. Like, that was boundary pushing. You couldn't max out that game at that time. At least to a playable extent. So, like, was that okay? Were people complaining about that then? I don't know. I would like to see, maybe if I could find some articles at the time talking about that as an example. But it's stuff like that that I feel like people just think that the max settings in every game should inherently be playable on current gen hardware. when in a lot of titles that have come out in the past, sometimes it wasn't, and it took a generation or two for those max super high-end overkill settings to be a playable experience. The new variable, though, in that whole argument is the upscaling, is the frame generation, and that like blurs the lines of like, okay, well, what are we going to consider playable now, and what are we not going to be considering playable anymore? Nori boned, don't worry. Silicone devs making software to accelerate games and performance, but game devs still need to optimize their products before release. But see, here's another thing. And this is why this argument's very multifaceted, and I don't know how exactly I'll be able to talk about this in a video in like a concise amount of time without sounding like I'm rambling. But a lot of people are like, oh, devs need to spend more time on games before they release. Which is fine. Sure, if we're going to broaden the argument to that extent, whatever. Let's just concede that. But we have a lot of like corpo push to get these games out the door, to get them the early access, to get them to be making money sooner, and then develop them over time. And that's sort of like an industry thing that needs to shift, but yet we as the consumer continue to buy into this like FOMO, like, oh, it's an early access now, let's go. And they get into the game, and then they expect it to be like a live service updates toward a final build. You know what I mean? And I think that culture, which wasn't as prevalent further back, like a decade ago plus, I think that mentality has really gotten widespread very recently, and I don't know if the industry has necessarily adjusted, and people are comparing like apples to oranges in that regard, you know? I don't have any DLSS FSR. I keep getting some wire flickering, like the picture gets brighter and darker, but only for a few milliseconds, 3 to 5 times a rate. Home? I say look at Rockstar 10-year dev time. What? Wait. I say look at Rockstar 10-year dev times. Games are always near perfect on launch. Would you consider Tarkov to be a badly optimized game? To keep the answer short, yeah, but that's not like, I'm not saying that as like a negative thing. I'm saying that as like it's in that development process still. Like, we're still in the development process. We haven't even hit 1.0 yet. And I feel like the fact that optimization comes toward the end of pipelines for most development cycles might be that might be the source of some of like the what's the word? Some of the controversy, because a game can look like it's running very poorly on launch and then is cleaned up towards the end of its life cycle, as it typically was during the development process. But people get into it, they get into games often before they are actually done being developed, and then that sort of step hasn't been fully taken, and then you're just kind of stuck, you know. So I don't know. Oh wait, let me check. I don't have any DLSS or FSR on. Oh wait, that's right, I just read that. Let me see. I'll check out that clip in a second. But yeah, it also comes into this thing. I feel like it's just, how do I say this? I feel like a lot of people who are complaining about performance, there's, to sum up the factors, right? You have games coming out into the open eye earlier than ever before. You have people who are spending more on their hardware relatively than ever before, at least numbers wise, not counting inflation or the tariffs and all of those socioeconomic factors, okay? They're spending more on their hardware, they're expecting more from their hardware in half-baked games that are coming out, And then they get into those games with bottlenecks that they don't understand because they see, like, for example, with Tarkov all the time, with like, oh, I don't have 100% CPU, 100% GPU, and they don't understand the bottlenecks. They just think, oh, okay, this has got to be DLSS fault, game's fault, FSR's fault, scapegoating is another thing there. And all those things come together. People have higher expectations for games that are coming out earlier to then be a sort of like live service, pseudo live service, like developing in the open eye type thing. And they expect to have more performance because of the higher price that they paid. And then, you know, it's just like the perfect catalyst for people to be bitching and moaning, frankly. Because of that mix. I don't know if that's something that can really be solved, but I think because of that, like, gap that people are, that like content creators are seeing, of like a lack of understanding of bottlenecks. And I had this too. Don't get me wrong, I was stupid as well back in the day. I didn't understand bottlenecks. This was only a couple of years ago. I've learned a lot since I've been doing this channel. And people don't really, I feel like content creators are taking advantage of the fact that people don't really understand it and just sort of farming, like, they're just milking the cow for views. Because there's genuine things you can say to help somebody with their given hardware, but you can't, like, there's people who are expecting more out of their hardware than ever before because money's tighter. They're expecting to stretch out their 7700K or whatever for as longest amount of time as they can. And seeing the specs start to go up, seeing the PS4 era hardware start to go away, start to become, like, ancient? I don't know if that's the best word, but, you know, we're getting to a new sort of phase for hardware requirements. You know, you have games coming out nowadays that require, what's the word? Ray tracing support, hardware ray tracing support. You know, so starting to phase out some pieces of hardware very early on. And that's only going to become more prevalent. I don't know how people are going to react. I think the Steam Deck is enough proof PS4 hardware is ancient. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Outdated, that's a better word. Outdated, thank you. I was trying to think of that word. Wait, Clem, does Tarkov work on Linux? BattleEye doesn't work on Linux. Well, yeah, there you go. Actually don't know. I've never tried it. Has anybody even tried that ever? I don't know. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Earlier today, I actually bought Cyberpunk 2077. Never played it. But I just wanted to go into it, like, without any understanding of, like, I mean, obviously I've seen benchmarks of it, right? But I just want to see, like, okay, with what the game sets for me on auto, and besides, like, the DLSS super res, like, what am I gonna get, in terms of performance? And, like, right off the gate, without changing any of the settings, with the game just defaulting what it did, except having native res instead of using DLSS, I was getting about 53 FPS on my system, because it had, like, the ultra ray tracing on, it had, you know, a lot of settings on high, and I didn't consider it unplayable. But at that point, I kind of thought to myself, like, what if I was just somebody going into this blind? What would I think of the optimization? What would I, like, target to turn down to try to get more performance? Or, like, as an end user, how would I adjust this? And then, like, for example, I just, like, ran DLSS on quality instead of running native, and I doubled my FPS, and I was at 100 without frame gen. And I was like, huh, okay. I was like, it's kind of a, and I thought to myself, I'm like, is this, like, a really bad, like, does it look terrible? I'm like, no, it looks pretty good for 1440p. I don't have much complaints. So I don't know. And I don't know, I'm trying to, like, what's the word? construct my argument sort of from an end user perspective, because I know I've been in that boat before, and I don't know like what end users would do typically if they like, you know, see lower performance. They'd probably just start like changing quality presets or whatever. Let me see. I have a 2060 Super and i7-9700F and 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. What should I upgrade to increase performance across games that's semi-budget friendly? You can keep the 2060 Super for now. Isn't that an 8GB card? I believe that's an 8GB card. I think the regular 2060 was 6. But, just keep the 2060 for now, and I would probably get onto AM5. I would buy something like a 7600, and then just get 32 gigs of DDR5. And also I'll read your comment in a second, Jornichi. And then you'll be rocking, and then you can save up, wait a couple months for the GPU market to cool down, and then get yourself a nice upgrade, you know, when the lower end SKUs of RDNA 4 and the 50 series come out. Okay, what did I miss here? I'd say I don't have performance problems anymore. Oh, I'll look at that clip in a second too, by the way. Since I watched your vid where I specified core usage on specific AMD CPUs, such as the 7900X 3D, used process lasso since then and went from 70 to 90 FPS average to 150 to 190 FPS on average. That's insane. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Those who want to know that R9 is paired with a 4070 Ti Super, Asus Tough OC, and 64 gigs of RAM. DDR5, 6000 MHz. That's wow. Did you install chipset drivers when you built that PC? Because if you have like, you should make sure game bar is on too for the scheduling, because that sounds like you might be missing some drivers, bro. They need to set the FPS standard higher than 60, and they need to include more settings options. Here's the thing too, Ryan. And this was an argument that I saw in a video that I watched today. If you're keen enough, you'll probably be able to find it, but I don't want to like send hate towards this person. He's very entertaining to watch. I just like every minute I would find like a point and I'd be like, oh god, I want to argue that so bad. He brought up PSSR. If you guys don't know what PSSR is, it's PlayStation's spectral resolution or whatever they call it. And it's just like, it's like a spin-off of FSR for upscaling on specifically the PS5 and the PS5 Pro. Or if, maybe it's just on the Pro. I don't remember. He was arguing the fact that that upscaler, like having upscaling on the on consoles, is bad because you don't have the choice to turn it off, and it gives devs the opportunity to be more lazy. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, what, like, the whole reason why the common consumer can be like, oh, I can play 4K games on my PS5 is from upscaling. You know that, right? Upscaling has been used for more than the time that DLSS or FSR has been out. There's been spatial upscaling for a while. Look at NIS. FSR 1's been out for a little while. There's been techniques before this that have been for that. And to allow for possibly sharper visuals by running an upscaler instead of having to just downgrade the resolution raw without any sort of upscaling, to have that be some sort of downgrade or downside for the end consumer because, oh, it gives devs the opportunity to be more lazy, it's just, it's just like an empty argument. It's like, are you in the office? Like, are you seeing the devs just like, they get a piece of mail in their mailbox and they're like, oh, would you look at that? Looks like I can be more lazy today because PlayStation gave me a nice little upscaler that I can throw in my game. Like, that's not what's happening, dude. If anything, having upscaling in video games is making some of these newer engines and games that are coming out recently to be more accessible to the average user, because then they can actually run it on some of their older hardware that may require to have upscaling for the resolution they're playing at. Also, what's up, Wild? We're in another rant stream today. I've been trying to get together my thoughts for this video I've been thinking of making. But anyway, let me check out this clip here. Wait, let me pull it up. Hold on. Gray Zone. Oh, I was waiting for somebody. Oh, I was waiting for you to bring up Gray Zone. You've triggered my trap card. No, that is an example that I was going to bring up on for this video, but we're going to talk about that in a second. 1 second. Also, I need to add a vanish command for you, bro. Give me a second. Let me pull this up. Okay. So this is the clip.
Yo. Officer! Good!
Oh, I see it. Oh, shit. I thought that was a fire alarm for a second. That is interesting, though. Holy ghosting, Batman. What the hell are you doing, bro? No anti-aliasing. No anti-aliasing is crazy, by the way. Whoa, we're running LOD Quality 4. Whoa, what the fuck? Whoa, brother. Oh! And here, watch my buddies who runs by the building. We have an 8700 and we're running LOD Quality 4. It's gotta be MIP Streaming.
Oh.
Good extra.
Oh my god.
Good extra. Good extra.
Hold on. Oh shit. I think it's...
Extract. Good extract. Good extract.
I think that's him.
Good extract.
That's him. Holy shit. That's crazy. Wow. I don't know how you did that, but that's pretty impressive, bro. Holy shit. Damn. Is this just in Tarkov? This looks like a...
Good extract.
Is this like the... we're running... Oh, we're running medium... Oh, man, brother. Oh... Like, these settings are screaming... It's giving paging file overflow. It's giving... That ghosting is crazy. I don't know what the hell is that. I would verify game files, maybe reinstall GPU drivers, because that looks fucking... he's not running frame. He's not even running any upscaling. Are you running frame gen, Bone to Zone? I could be like a loss of scaling bug, but it's not happening with everything. You're right. But it also looks like I'm playing this on like a PS4 with like HDR on and max brightness on a TV screen.
Yo. Officer.
Yo.
Good.
Sorry. I want to check. Something is severely fucked here. Something is severely fucked here. It's giving I installed the newer GPU on my system that I've had 2 GPUs in before and I didn't DDU before I did it. It's giving... I'm running lossless scaling, maybe lossless scaling. This does not look like lossless scaling artifacts though. The lossless scaling artifacts that I've seen recently don't look like this. It's very much like there's just like black, like zones of void in the frame gen sometimes. 60 FPS on stories is fine, but the problem is 60 FPS standard really means 40 to 50 for the average unoptimized game on a mid setup. That's also an unoptimized setup. Which is also another point that I wanted to get into in that video, is that people are running shit like SteelSeries sonar and everything like that. And like they have all this RGB software and everything, and they expect that to have no impact on performance. And that's a whole nother industry and a whole nother issue. Yeah, this is... It's hard to just pin down what this is just from this, but... yeah. I have never seen any issue like this before. Unless somebody was using frame generation. But right off the rip, let's go ahead and not run medium texture quality. Or if we are running medium texture quality, let's turn on Streets of Tarkov lower texture res. Let's also go to object LOD quality max of 3. Right off the rip. Because this is giving... wait, let me see what... Oh, okay. Can I just say I went from a 1080 to in 2023 to pure AI frames and I upgraded to new gen, and this looks like that. But there's no... You can't... You only have lossless scaling. There's no frame generation in Tarkov. He couldn't if he tried. He couldn't if he wanted to. He could only use lossless scaling, and if he's not using lossless scaling, there's no frame gen here. I mean, look at this guy. If you're not, like, this doesn't even look like no anti-aliasing. Like Deep Space pointed out a second ago. This doesn't even look like that. Does the Streets lower texture apply at all times, or just Streets? Just Streets. This is like... That looks... I can show... Hold on, let me show you what no anti-aliasing looks like. Hold on. I'm tripping? What? Looks like an upscaler was deselected but didn't save. You think? With those artifacts? Because that's like... I had DLSS on last night. I turned it off to try and fix this. I had DLSS on balanced. Whoa, why balanced? Probably because it was... Probably because it was in Pure Logi, these videos. I'm not dissing Pure Logi, but... There's so many people who run anti-aliasing, or sorry, who run upscaling, and just like copy the stuff. It's just so many. There's just so many. There needs to be a way to like address this. That's why I want to make this video. That's why I want to make. I'm gonna do a DLA video. Yeah, it'll just be some quick. I was gonna try to collect some of the screenshots for it on stream today while I was talking. But then I think I need to make this video just talking about like all of this, dude, because this mentality is going all over the fucking internet nowadays, and it's just like, yeah, it's gonna be a DLA video for Tarkov, but the like discussion video I'm gonna make is probably not gonna be just for Tarkov. I'm gonna mention Tarkov in it, obviously, because then I can put Escape from Tarkov in the tags, and then YouTube won't think that I'm betraying its algorithm. But well, I spawned right through it. Is Mr. Ghosting AMD or Nvidia? They're gonna be ghosting on both upscalers, but what he's seeing, that's beyond the ghosting you typically see with either. Hey, Vagabond, how much scam... How much is it a gigabyte 5880 water force for a scam in terms of price? Don't tell me you paid $2,000 fucking dollars for 5080. Just don't, bro. Don't, man. If you paid anything above $1,500 for that, that's a scam. But this is what no anti-aliasing looks like. Okay? So unless the compression of the video made this not look like this... Oh, I think he was up here. It looks like this, is what it looks like to me.
Good extract.
Oh.
I mean, look at the ghosting on his gun when it goes
Good
down.
extract.
That's like Unreal Engine 5 terrible lumen ghosting.
Oh.
But you see those lines are put together.
Good extract.
You said he had DLSS. He had DLSS on here? Wait. Wait. Hold on, the gears are turning. The gears are turning. Hold on. He went to Nvidia control panel. He switched negative LOD bias to the wrong setting because he followed Epic tutorial online with a dubstep from no copyright sounds in the background. And it fucked up his DLSS implementation. Thoughts? 1800, what the hell? Can I just ask what the consensus is on UE5? I sort of left the gaming community in the 2020s and more active these days, but I despise UE5. Has really destroyed PC gaming recently, in my opinion. Ooh. Okay. If we're gonna talk about UE5, I'd have to hop on Grey Zone Warfare and show y'all some stuff as like a talking point. If you guys don't mind me doing that, just to show you. Because we can talk about that as well. Because I have my thoughts on that. And if you want to know right off the rip, and I know this is not a common thought, but I do not think that Unreal Engine 5 has ruined the gaming industry. I don't think that it's the end of the world and like, oh, it's the villain in this story. It's really, it's way more complicated than that. And there's it's not Unreal Engine 5, it's specific things in Unreal Engine 5 that people can spot. My ARC GPU doesn't have any ghosting. Here's what I do, Bone to Zone. Just to wrap up. Here's my thoughts. I'm assuming and I'm not blaming you, but it's your fucking fault. No, I'm kidding. I think you've changed something in the Nvidia control panel that has messed with DLSS and how it collects the data for the frame, and it's causing crazy amounts of ghosting. In my opinion, it might be a negative LOD bias, but I'm not sure. What I would do is I would use a program called DDU, Display Driver Uninstaller. I would take that out. I would uninstall your GPU drivers. But before you uninstall them, download the latest ones from the Nvidia's website. Have that on your computer. And then unplug your Wi-Fi, uninstall your drivers, restart, and then install your new drivers. Okay? Once you do that, I have a feeling the problem's probably going to be fixed. Grey Zone is a good-looking game, no doubt, but I really don't like playing an online game with input, lag, and fake FPS. That's what I need to talk about. So let's talk about that. Let's have a little bit of a discussion, okay? Let's have a little bit of a discussion. Let's I'm I'm scared. Also, by the way, Uzunai, thank you for the tier 1. Sorry. I completely lost that because I was ranting. Just about to get Kappa and the boss is already at 100%. You better move, bro. You better move. I'm so out of my depth here. This is terrifying. It's okay. If you need help, my Discord's available. Just make a post in the help forum saying, hey guys, how do I uninstall my graphics drivers? There are people in my Discord who are more than willing to help out. But there's also tutorials online, like a lot of them. It's not really that bad. Just if you want, you can always rewind, by the way, if you want this clip, or you can just clip it and then like paste it to yourself so you remember me saying this. But the steps are basically you download the latest Nvidia drivers. You have that exe. Disconnect the internet once you have DDU as well installed. Okay, so get DDU and then disconnect your internet. Run DDU when you go into safe mode, and you can look up how to go into safe mode on Windows. When you're in safe mode, run DDU, uninstall your drivers, have it reboot your system. And then once it reboots, then run that exe that you got from the Nvidia website to download the latest drivers, and then connect back to the internet. If you want to talk about Gray Zone, can you open? Yes, I'm going to. Sorry, I was just finishing up that conversation. Where I use FSR frame gen on Assassin's Creed Shadows and I get 120 FPS. That is kind of crazy. I want to preface too, and let me switch games here 1 second. I'm gonna switch the topic for a second so that Twitch doesn't go crazy to Gray Zone Warfare. And then let me close this. Yeah, Bone, no problem, man. That's what we're here for, bro. Tempted to get a 9070 XT, but I'm worried in losing DLSS 4. I have a 3070. If you use DLSS a lot, DLSS 4 is a hell of a temptation. FSR 4, the problem with FSR 4 is not its quality, actually, because the quality so far actually looks pretty good. Like, it's up there with DLSS 3, at least. So, that's good. And that's usable. But the issue really is supportability, because it's not in that many games right now. And that's the main issue. Here, let's go to Gray Zone real quick. Oh, yeah, you can see I bought this, and I was playing this earlier as like a experiment, because I wanted to see like a modern, super supported, you know, ray traced game. But let's pop into here real quick. A lot of people are biased against frame generation and biased against the upscaling. And I understand. And I want to be clear that I actually understand. Because for the longest time, and still now, I am very much against using frame generation in extremely competitive multiplayer first-person shooter titles. Like, I wouldn't want to use frame generation on Valorant. I wouldn't want to use frame generation on Rainbow Six Siege, you know. I would like to note, or I would note that for deleting drivers, just deleting them in the Windows control panel worked fine for me when I was switching from Nvidia to AMD, and when I had to completely reinstall drivers. But did you remove the software as well that comes with it? Careful your stream. Yeah, I switched it. Don't worry, we're good. Speaking of DLSS and AI, I came across the news that there are dark devs used in their total AI for the trailer of their new map. I did hear about that. I saw like a clip of that. That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty funny. Like it's not even, it's just like completely it's like completely AI. It's like the entire thing is, it's like, oh, what is this? I'm not biased against frame gen as a whole. I'm biased against the reliance in the industry. See, that is part of the issue. Life is a bitch. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. There's this argument that you said that people think that frame generation is relied on too heavy in the modern gaming industry. And I can agree with that to an extent. I think that using frame generation specifically, and upscaling to a slightly lesser extent, but still upscaling, in system requirements is kind of crazy. Also, it is loud as hell. There we go. It's kind of bullshit. Like, I would not even recommend frame generation if we're talking about below 60 FPS. But you might not have noticed, but right now I am actually using frame generation. And I'm using DLSS, or actually I'm using DLAA, so it's just mainly the frame generation here. But if I can get cap frame X to hook, do I have it open? Oop. No I don't. That would do it. What I did was just select Nvidia or AMD software and click delete. Oh. It might still, like, DDU removes everything, like the registry file, references, any extra files in your drive, like literally everything. So, and it doesn't take that long to do either. That's why I still default to doing it that way. You can just remove drivers like that, but that's not really encompassing the whole thing, because there can be several different applications for, like, for example, with Nvidia, you have the Nvidia app, and you have the Nvidia control panel, and you have Nvidia frame view. Is this gonna hook? Yeah, there we go. Okay. This is a very interesting case, Gray Zone, because I talked about a while ago when I was making my original settings guide for this game, way back when it first came out, that the ghosting in it was kind of insane. Let me go in here and try to get a little discussion or a little example. So, like, you see on this roof here, it should be fairly obvious that I'm like painting the ceiling here with ghosting right here. Yeah, you guys can definitely see that. So that'll thank you for the follow on Twitch, by the way. And I talked about that. That's from the game's global illumination, from the way that they light up the entire world, because there's not much baked lighting for this. This is all ray traced global illumination here. And there's also this issue. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but frame generation also has some artifacts. And I feel like those two things in tandem is what makes people really hate Unreal Engine 5. Ironically, even though one of those things is only one of those things is really tied to the engine, I've seen just hate for those two things sort of bundled up a lot, which is quite interesting. I don't really know why that's the case, but at least for global illumination, this is sort of a, how do I say this? It's sort of a transition time, I'm thinking. Is motion blur still activated by default? I actually don't know. I don't have it activated right now. That's kind of... Wait, do they have motion blur? No, they don't. Was there motion? You can't disable it? Let me turn off frame generation, because that's gonna cloud my view here on that. Now I'm all sidetracked. Hold on. Doesn't really look like there's any. I'm not seeing any motion blur. Wait, oh. I use FrameGen Arena, but because I'm already getting 100+ FPS, doesn't really make an input issue. The thing is, though, that's the point of where it gets... Whoa, that's going to get me demonetized. That's the point of where it gets tricky, is because you have people who... And I'm sorry, Jordan, I'm not, like, calling you out. Don't take this as me, like, calling you out. But you have people, you have content creators, you have people setting these arbitrary, like, points of where it doesn't matter anymore. where it's like, okay, now that I hit this point, it kind of doesn't matter about frame gen. But what people don't also mention is that inherently with frame generation, there always is an input latency impact. There's always a latency impact because you have to display the fake frame. Or I hate to call it the fake frame, but the generated frame, you have to display it. At some point, you have to display it. And you're not going to display it for like 0.1 millisecond. You're not going to display it for like a really short amount of time. You're probably going to display it similar to the amount of time that you display a real frame because you want it to add to that smoothness. You want it to fit in with the frame pacing. So the time that the fake frame's on the screen, you're not getting an update. It has to delay the frame after to put that frame in between because you can't generate something from nothing. So there's inherently that bit of latency. And people complain about the latency a lot, but it gets to the point where people are like, okay, now I'm okay with it. And that comes up, but still yet that argument remains because people think that people are relying too much on this frame generation stuff. Now, to be clear, this game is very intensive to run. You're not going to see this level of performance on most hardware that's below, say, like a 3080, unless you use some sort of upscaling. Like, I've got my 4070 Ti Super right now, and with the settings that I have with DLAA, you can see right here, got a decent mix between Epic and slightly lower settings, but we're also using DLAA as well, which has a performance impact. In the main area here, we're getting around 90 FPS without frame generation. And, you know, if I was that average consumer, I would be thinking like, man, like, I'm not getting high refresh rate on my hardware that I paid so much money for. This game's shit. I can't. This is such poor optimization. But it's, and I hate making excuses because it's not all excuses, but this part of the argument doesn't really come up where like this is sort of pushing the boundaries of what we're doing with graphics because we're not using baked lighting anymore. We're having real-time lighting, which, yes, by the way, whoever asked, there is some global illumination here. That's real-time. We're pushing the boundaries on how we're doing this and how we're making these worlds. Because for some of these things, you can't get the same effect without using some of this real-time lighting. And I think that over time, once the hardware starts to catch up, they can start to make this stop doing, for example, this, to have these artifacts. It's only going to get better. And we're in just this sort of transition time where you just have like a really... you have sort of like a, not half-baked, but you have newer generation game graphics trying their best to work with as much back-end compatible hardware as possible. And it results in well, can I show it here? In issues like I showed back there. But to address, there was an argument a while back. Let me miss. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Warhammer 40k, and when I played Space Marine 2, I remember DLSS was useless and the game ran better in TAA. But even so, optimized was the amount of crap that appeared. The FPS was dropping. That's a lot of... see, that plays back into what I was talking about before with, like, people not understanding the CPU bottleneck, right? Also, sorry, I'm like dehydrated right now. Give me a second. I've been talking nonstop. Hold on. Okay. It's like my mouth is dry. I have a 5080 and it still runs like crap. Okay, what'd I miss? Do you think it has something to do with exploitation and short development times? I said this before. I think it's more so the fact that the game industry is sort of shifting from releasing a game in like a more full state. And I don't really know what the sole cause of that is. It may obviously be like some sort of corporate greed or whatever, but hell, I'm not a game dev. I don't know whether or not that's part of the argument too. Like, I don't know whether the devs are being lazy. I don't know if like there's money influencing the decision making here. Obviously, that, you know, in development that does become something, it becomes an issue the longer you develop a game. But what was I going to say from that? There are games. The funny thing is with Unreal Engine 5 is there are games, and I'll have to like research this to actually get like a good list of popular games that use Unreal Engine 5. But there are games that people don't complain about that are built in Unreal Engine 5. And they don't spew like bad optimization to those titles, even though it's the same engine. So I feel like Unreal Engine 5 is sort of being painted out as a scapegoat, because a lot of the experience with Unreal Engine 5 is in those like Gray Zone. Gray Zone is in like in early access. Like there is a sliver of the actual content they're going to have in the game right now. Like actually here, wait, let me pull something up real quick. I gotta find this. Oh, well, actually we can keep it on that screen. It's a pretty cool screen. Let me find this clip here. Here it is. Oh my goodness. This is going to be compressed to hell, but look at this shit. Like this has me in like maximum glaze mode. Okay. Like, where's the... Wait. Hold on. Oh. Oh, you know what I was like? Oh. It's like, holy sh... See... This right here is the next generation of graphics, because like hardware is going to keep shifting. We remember the original push of ray tracing back with like the 20 series launched. It was really funny because not many games supported it at the time, and ray tracing had been a tech that was used by like Pixar for a long time, before even like it was put into real-time ray tracing applications. But now that we have it in games, they're using it to make these effects in real time. And that's the next push, is to do some of these effects like rain and the reflections of rain to all be done in real time through ray tracing. The argument that a lot of people are making, though, now with this next jump in graphics technology is that, oh, is this necessary? This is making my performance worse for a graphical upgrade that I deem isn't necessary. If we look back at the past, as games have progressed in graphical quality, like, should we have just stopped at Crysis 3? Like, is there really, like, because that's what's happening now, is that people are, like, trying to see if they can justify these leaps in graphics to be like, okay, is this justifiable enough for me to have to like upgrade my hardware and for the reduction in performance? Because sure, we could have all games to look like Valorant and present themselves like that, and then we wouldn't have to really worry about performance anymore. We can have all these like short, like small maps, and hell, why don't we just make everything look like Galaga? Why don't we just make everything look like fucking Pac-Man in the 1980s and it'll run on everything? That's, I think, at the crux of, and that's something that I was struggling to get out before, is like, that is the crux of all of these different factors, is people sort of justifying like, okay, is this next leap in how these games are looking, is this justifiable? Is this something that should be reduced? Like why are we implementing this when it's only going to reduce my frames? And I don't deem that the quality uplift is worth that reduction. All this chat has made me want to play a new enhanced GTA. I heard about that. See, that's an interesting thing too, right? I think people, I haven't heard much debate about it, but I also haven't heard people be like, oh man, they upgraded GTA 5's graphics and they're just making the game run worse with no benefit. Like, this is just, oh, this is gonna be shitty. It's just ruling out my old hardware. Like, why aren't they just sticking to GTA 5 graphics for GTA 6? This is ridiculous. I want to be able to play this on my PS4. It's like, okay. I don't care about having 10 out of 10 graphics. But see, I'm going to stop right there before reading the rest of the message. That's what is that's what's labeled on what I said on using these new graphics technologies. Is these are 10 out of 10 graphics. I don't want these. I just want it to look good enough. And then, you know, and then I can get more performance by it looking good enough. Screw the extra global illumination, bake the lighting, I don't care. Just give me the more performance and just have it look good enough. Don't, because eventually, and you can quote me on this in 5 years, eventually, this is going to become more of the norm. And stuff like this is going to be what some of the lower end hardware is going to run. So it's just a shift in how we develop games and how these games are running and how the lighting is done specifically in these games. That's going to be adopted more as we move forward. And if you want the extra performance, you can go play stuff like Rainbow Six Siege and Apex and all that. And that's just where it is, because wait. The quality presets bring bias with them. That's a whole nother thing too. That is also true, at least where I live in Mexico. There are still people who play with GTX 750s and 4 gigs of VRAM, believing that is enough to play. Right. People do not take into account the big jump in hardware that was given. And there's also an argument too of like people saying, is this jump manufactured? Like, oh, this is a big hoax just to get us to upgrade to newer hardware. I'm gonna keep using this thing and it's gonna keep trucking whether they like it or not. And wait, it's crazy that we had the Division 1 in New York playing on a PS3 and the game was crazy good looking game. I just want this type of graphics on a map like New York. And that's possible. And I'm not saying it's not possible. Obviously it was able to be done back then with that. And all of this argumentation is subjective as well. But let's just assume, for the sake of argument, that was a very good looking game. It was. I'm not disagreeing with you, but obviously there could be some people who are. In that case, you can have graphics like that perform well on that given hardware. But as we move towards using these new technologies, like for example, let's just take ray tracing as a whole. You have GPUs that just don't support ray tracing. Like, they don't support hardware RT. And so they just simply can't play some of the newer games because it's just moving forward. It's like, for example, the jump from like DX9 to DX11 or whatever. Like games that just don't support GPUs that just don't support the newer DirectX architecture. It's too bad. It's too bad. That's it. Like, that's just how it goes. And I feel like that sort of thing is going on right now with ray tracing in newer titles, but it's not the same clear-cut thing, except with the case of hardware RT support. Because some GPUs are just sort of being, even if they have hardware RT support, like for example a 6600, like an RTX 2060, etc., some of the lower end cards, like a 3050, even though they have hardware RT support, with any sort of actual ray tracing workload, the performance just goes to doo-doo garbage. And I feel like some of those cards are just going to sort of be, they're not going to age well. I mean, that was that was sort of kind of seen in reviews as they were released, but for RT workloads, it's just not going to age well. And that's the thing. Like I said at the beginning, there's a lot to argue here, and there's a lot of buildup of hatred and like disdain towards these new technologies, towards using DLSS, towards using FSR, towards having hardware RT because of the current artifacts that come with it. But I can guarantee that in a certain amount of time, stuff like this is going to become more normalized, and it's going to be becoming better to the point where this sort of artifacting isn't going to be seen. And wait, silly for me, ray tracing is a myth invented by Nvidia because I can't notice it no matter how hard I try. It's not, well, we'll get to that. I don't care about ray tracing. A good lighting is enough. But that's the thing. See, that's the thing. That's the crux of this, is that people see the buzzword ray tracing and they rule it out when it can be done without impacting performance super negatively. But they rule it out because they have this premonition in their head that this is going to severely reduce their performance, or it's the reason that the performance is reduced within a given title. And they just want, like, oh, I just want my good baked lighting. This is enough. Just bake the lighting in. I don't need the real-time stuff. It's just, at that point, when you get to the, what map of Tarkov is this? Whoops. When you get to that point, it's like, you just have to cut off the argument. You just cut off, it's like, it's just, this is where the industry is heading. And you can't, it's like, tough, but this is just where it's going to go. And it doesn't help that now with, you know, new GPU releases and stuff, the prices are just way above MSRP. Things are not affordable to actually get in to play these games yet. I mean, they were for a certain amount of time, but now you're at the point where, like, what is it? Like a 9070 XT is what? $800, $850? And you have people, this is also part of the thing. Play Indiana Jones in the Great Circle and you'll never complain about ray tracing again. Real. Let me go in here. I need to screenshot this. This is what people will do, okay? They'll take all this and they'll just... This is what I see on benchmarking channels all the time. I don't think I can make this more intensive. But they'll have everything set like this. And then they'll be like, dude, even the 5090, it can't support this. Even the 4090 can't. Even on my hardware, I'm barely getting 60 FPS. What's going on, guys? These games are so poorly optimized. And you look at their set. Whoa, what the fuck was that? You look at their settings, and then it's stuff like this. I'm people. And see, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, all right, guys, so you probably can play it. Why don't you just, like, turn down some of the settings? They're like, I shouldn't have to turn down the settings. And that goes into Wild. What Wild said, pause, by the way, that transitions to what Wild said previously, where he messaged in my chat, and he's like, it's people's premonition in their head of what settings quality they're using, not the actual presentation of the game at the end of the day. It's just, I want to run highest settings and not have to worry. It shouldn't be a big deal. I should be able to run ultra because I paid a lot of money for this. And that is what it boils down to. I actually, wait, hold on. Do you dabble with HDR at all, Clementine? Not really. The last time I used it was like Elden Ring a while back. Hold on, I have some notes on my laptop that I took when I was watching a video. Let me grab this real quick, chat. These are good talking points. Hold on. Hold on. Let me boot up this bad boy. Okay. I had them written down on here. Okay. Because I was watching like some videos, like the optimization rage bait videos, this morning, just to like, you know, try to get a better picture in my head. And like I watched, like, this is the notes from one given video, okay? And here are some of the argumentation points that I found. I'll just read these raw, how I wrote them in the notepad doc that I have here. So, quote, developers use DLSS as an excuse to not optimize their game. Oh boy. This is gonna, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hate on this guy, but this is actually one of the arguments that was made in this video, was, X game, I won't say the game, so it's harder to figure out where this came from, is set in a liminal space. So it shouldn't really be that hard to run, even if it's realistic. That was one of the arguments, by the way. How do you know what exactly... Oh, yeah, that's right, because he was making points about, like, oh, if they just did this one thing, it should run better. And I was like, well, how do you know that's going to make the game run better? What's the justification towards that? Do you know what's bottlenecking you, etc., etc.? Most of the time, you won't even notice ray tracing. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. I think most developers are just putting their chips into ray tracing. And of course, yeah, that we can barely run new games at 4K on the highest end cards. Unreal Engine 5 sucks. TAA sucks. Real on that part. Developers need to slow down. That's the notes that I wrote for one of the videos that I watched. You certainly won't notice ray tracing if you don't know what it is. It's like I have all those points to talk about. Like, that's just from one video, and I'm like, how do I go about talking about this in a way, like, I don't want to ostracize people. I don't want to make them sound fucking stupid. I'm not trying to make them sound stupid. I'm not trying to call them stupid. I'm just trying to talk about, like, it's like a can it run crisis thing, except with a new generation of lighting and technology and game engine. We could talk about Unreal Engine 5. Let's talk about it being the scapegoat. Let's talk about it killing the games industry or whatever with terrible ghosting and stuff like that. Because some of the ghosting is literally there so that some of the lower end hardware can run the goddamn game. Imagine believing that developers don't work well because they want to and not because they are so exploited that they don't even step foot in their house. It's kind of... I think it's kind of crazy that people blame the developers so much when you have deadlines for some of these projects as well that you need to meet. And optimization comes at the end of these development pipelines. So if they need to push something out of the door and they don't have much time at the end of the pipeline, they gotta do what they gotta do to get this out of the door. So really the problem, if we're taking that as the basis, the problem isn't necessarily the developer. The problem is the industry. The problem is how these games are, like, being pushed out of the door. It's not necessarily the developer being like, I don't want to, I'm too lazy to optimize this. Because they have people who are on staff to specifically help with that in some cases, depending on the size of the team. So, what'd I miss here? I don't get it. I just tested Tarkov on customs offline mode with no AI, with texture quality medium and high. The game, after I changed texture, I gained 4 FPS on high. That's not even enough of a swing to justify. Like, when you're benchmarking Tarkov, especially if you don't control the time, that amount of swing in performance is normal when you're benchmarking, especially if the weather changed as well. 4070 Ti, 12 gig, 4900 KF, DDR5, CL32, 400 megahertz, 4K, 144 hertz on DLSS quality. What's your opinion? 12 gigs of VRAM can't run high textures. It can't. You have to stick to medium with 12 gigs. You'll have stuttering on customs and stuff like that with high textures. I do with a 16 gig card on high textures. This game plays with my feelings. Alright, where do I go with my rant? Where do I go with my rant? They also brought up, like... Yeah, developers don't have much resources to defend themselves, that's true. It's like in Tarkov, they blame Nikita for everything when he has nothing to do with it and does an excellent job of the design and sound of the weapons and leading the team's art direction. Right? Ooh. This is what people complain about as well. I didn't know it's kind of screen space there to an extent. That's interesting. I saw a post on Reddit about a modded 4090 with 48 gigs of VRAM. Didn't really look into it too much, but it sounds interesting. You still can't run high textures. still can't run high textures on streets. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna happen. This is pretty clean on all Epic. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of nice. It's kind of pretty. But then if I wanted to run this, I would almost certainly probably need frame gen. But that's the thing too, by the way, which I wanted to talk about as well before we switch back. I used to hate frame generation, or not hate, but I used to say, you know, for most competitive shooters, I don't think frame generation should be used, and I still stand by that for the most part. But like, for example, in Gray Zone, I've been using frame generation when I've been playing. And my base frame rate, you know, most of the time sticks above 60. It's more like 70 as the base frame rate. It can swing though, and sometimes as low as 50. But having that extra smoothness in like this game, for instance, where I'm doing a lot of slow peeking around corners, and I'm not really like in Tarkov where I'm like doing these like crazy like movements and I'm jumping around corners like I play like that. I actually kind of like it just for how smooth it makes the game look. And yeah, there's some visual artifacts, but the newest transform model of FrameGen does a fairly good job, and it's not like so crazily bad in terms of frame generation quality where I'm like, yeah, okay, I can't run this. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like frame generation should still be a personal preference, and if you want to use it, it shouldn't be included in game specs, surely. But I feel like it does kind of give people who want that like high refresh rate trap experience. They can still sort of get some of that. Sure, it's not the latency that you would want for that high refresh rate, but you know, you still get that smoothness, which is what a lot of people seemingly look for. Because like I've had a lot of people who use like lossless scaling on Tarkov, and they're like, yeah, I like it. I don't really notice the input latency, which is crazy, and that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. Because sometimes those people are running at like 50 FPS, 40 FPS as a baseline, which is insane that they don't notice the input latency. I guess that's a whole nother topic, but yeah, I don't know. I think people are gonna probably start using frame generation more and more because they don't really notice the impact, and so maybe part of that argument is like, well, is this really is the fact that people aren't noticing it a problem? Should it be more communicated? Should, you know, this came to answer the title. I say yes. I've been arguing against it. I've been arguing against that answer. I've been saying no. They haven't been ruining recent games, and I'm trying to plan a discussion of a video about that very thing, but again, I'm going to need to have some more research behind it. I'm going to need some actual sources. I'm going to need it to explain some stuff. And we'll get there, I think. Computers are just a fad. They'll make people lazy. Yep. Everybody should go back to playing board games. FrameGen reminds me of the auto body industry. If the naked eye can't notice the defect, it is fixed. In this case, good. Right. And I think that's only going to become more prevalent, brother. Trying to think. I'm trying to think of how to address it. I'm trying to think, because I know if I phrase it right, and if I can line up my argument enough and make it simple to understand and get people to like explain the technology, explain how things are working, explain where the industry is moving, have examples of Unreal Engine 5 games that are optimized, explain optimization, talk about that buzzword a lot. I think it would be a good video. I think it would hit and resonate with a lot of people. But I just need to make it right. What this? This is your point fire. Ryzen's a good example for it. I think you're all going in the wrong direction with this. We can just play high refresh rate monitors instead. Bingo! You can't see over 24 FPS. Problem solved. Recent games like Delta Force API out of the house of Tencent shows that you don't need DLSS and frame gen to hit crazy FPS. Even on ultra settings. Oh, see. Ooh. Ooh. You guys see what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm talking about? And I'm not trying to hate on you, Evan, but you see what I'm talking about, right? Where the argument always, and this is getting like philosophical, but like the argument always is, these games show you don't need DLSS frame gen, and you don't need FSR, and you don't need all this trickery to get crazy FPS, even on ultra settings. And it's like, yeah, great. And I could go to Rainbow Six Siege 5 years ago, and I could show that you didn't need DLSS that time either to hit crazy FPS. What is the point of this argument? Where is the crux of this argument at? And why are we talking about ultras? Like, I could name the low settings ultra, and then the argument's pointless. And that's what some games are doing, where they don't even have a low setting. Like their settings are labeled like normal, high, extreme, overkill, ultra nightmare, like all this like like Doom Eternal level naming. Like we have all these like cherry-picked games that like, oh, these run great, they look great, these other games don't, and it's DLSS's fault because I need to use them in these games. So it's that fault. It's the fault of that. It's that. If only we didn't have that, then developers would stop relying on it, and then all of a sudden all of our problems would be fixed, because then they wouldn't be relying on it anymore. But it's sort of over, like, in conclusion, languages. The rhetoric is to blame, I think. Deep Space, yeah. I think that I'm writing that down. Fuck, hold on. I'm writing that down. Rhetoric is this. Because for most people, for most gamers, for gamers, like, all this is relative. The entire scale of the settings is relative. So what are we, like, are you just expecting to run at ultra? Are we just saying like ultra should be the standard? Because if we want ultra to be the standard, right? Let me just go in here. Fuck it. Let me use this as an example. Let's go this way. Okay. Watch this. All right. I'm running 70 FPS. We're just looking out here. Okay. Now all of a sudden I could just go in here. Here's my ultra. If I was the developer, I just set this to be the ultra, and then voila, problem solved. Also, this looks like shit, but just imagine that some of the foliage doesn't look like garbage, because all I'd have to do is up the foliage quality a little bit. And then you could just manipulate the naming of some of these settings to make it seem like less of an issue. And then their argument starts to fall apart because we can't base it off of like, oh, I'm running ultra settings, I'm running high settings. Like, we need to stop basing the argument in that language for either side. It needs to be more of like, okay, I'm playing this game, like, it's got, like, do I need to use DLSS for specific things? Like, do I need, like, can I disable some of the ray tracing features? Because, like, grading, like, all these quality settings are relative. Like, this could be a game's ultra. And, like, we don't have anything besides the name of the setting to base some of our judgment off of. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, it's like, for example, we can't have, like, I'll take DLSS, for example, right? Let's say it's like moving the goalpost for DLSS to say, like, DLSS quality is now DLAA. And so it would be like, well, now I'm running native, I have this higher performance, right? There's no backup to the setting to be like, okay, oh, wait, this isn't actually native. I'm not running at my native resolution. Like, there's no percentage behind the setting. There's nothing for other people to grade the setting around besides the visual quality, right? So I think that we need to move away from that argument and point more towards, like, okay, what features are the crux of the issues with performance? Why are these features being utilized? What's the point of these features? How will this improve in the long term? And, like, is DLSS, like, because people... Oh, actually, you know what's funny? Oh my god, Evan, see, oh my god, I love you. I love you because... Yeah, actually, let me read what you said. I remember 2007 when Crysis came out, and people were crazy, like, GPU killer. People were also mad because the PCs couldn't handle the game. Imagine DLSS, etc. back then. That's the same thing. Exactly, dude. That's what I said, like, 2 hours ago. And that's or not 2 hours ago, like an hour and a half ago. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's the same sort of thing to what it was back then, with games pushing the boundary to what is possible with lighting effects, with graphics in general, and engines are pushing that envelope forward, and we have games now that are GPU killers, just like Crysis. And the same complaints, if DLSS came up back then, would apply. Kind of reminded me of SLI. Oh, well, that too, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. And it's like, that's the crux of my argument right there. Exactly. And so, like, I want to look into, because when Crysis came out, I was fucking 4 years old, okay? So I do not remember what happened then, but I need to look up some sources, because I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, there has been games that have pushed the envelope of graphics. And if DLSS and frame gen was around back then, the same argument would have occurred. So we need to take Unreal Engine 5 out of the equation right now and focus on, like, okay, we're using this as a scapegoat. Why are we using DLSS and frame gen as a scapegoat? Do these technologies actually have merit? What are they for? Do they actually improve how I play the game? You can choose to use them or not. And, like, for example, I'd much rather play Grayzone with deep learning anti-aliasing than use, like, the native TSR, like TAA anti-aliasing. It does a much better job with the foliage and everything. And I'll show that in the video if I remember to include that in the script. Like, people just dismiss it. Like, I'd rather even play a DLSS quality before using native, like, TAA and stuff like that. There's merit to these technologies, and people just throw them out before considering, like, these technologies are helping some lower-end GPUs be able to play some of these modern hardware. Like, the fact that you could have a GPU that's 5 years old. Think about it. Think about it in the grand scale of things. 5-year-old GPU. You have the, like, let's take a 2080, right? The fact that a 2080 can play this game is a marvel that's only been recently a thing. Because think about it, right? Back then, when you had an 8800 Ultra, right? When you had that old hardware, you'd buy a top of the line GPU. Granted, maybe the prices were a bit less back then. You buy that high-end GPU, then all of a sudden, the next generation, oh shit. Oh man, they're on a new API. Oh, and I can't play some of these recent games at all anymore. And I have to upgrade now. Now this is obsolete. Now I can only play these older titles, and now everything's obsolete, and I have to upgrade again like every 2 years. That's how it was to a certain extent back then. And now we have a bunch of people with older end hardware who are still able to play these games as they're pushing the envelope of performance or of graphics, as they have like this real-time ray tracing on some of this older hardware through using some of these technologies. So when people say like, oh, DLSS is ruining the expectation, it's because they're lowering the boundary of entry. Because for like Gray Zone, right? Think about it. With Gray Zone, for the recommended specs, they put it right up there with a 3070 Ti. And they're like, okay, here's the recommended. And they laid out flat right, this is what we recommend. But they still put as the minimum, yeah, we can still support some of these lower end hardware, but here's what you have to do as a result. Anyway, but here's what you have to do as a result, right? And now you're able to make those concessions. If you had an older GPU back then, tough luck, bro. This game, like you don't support DirectX 7 or DirectX 9. Oh well, too bad. You're done. You're done. Oh, and your GPU's 3 years old. That's too fucking bad, bro. Lossless scaler is good for me. I can play Streets with it on and don't really notice the difference. That lossless on Streets gets 50. See? And you get that increased smoothness. And even though there's input lag, people are okay with that because they want the smooth image. And see, that's what's not mentioned in a lot of these rage bait. Wait, to be honest, I could say to myself, oh, don't tell me I have to, do I have to pronounce that? Mekern off hohen niveau, which means something like complaining at a high level. I think I did a pretty good job with pronouncing that, not gonna lie. But there are benefits to these technologies, right? There's some benefits. It's not like all of a sudden, whereas before in the past, they would just cut off the hardware, right? There's benefits to having these technologies available because they're increasing the lifespan of your older GPUs as we move forward in the graphics industry. So I don't know. I feel like just people are glazing over that fact. Glossing over that fact. Pause. They're like not like there's like, all right, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. Oh, let's use it. It's bad. DLSS bad game. Doo-doo optimization. Let me play Assassin's Creed 3. Let me play Assassin's Creed Black Flag because it looks great. It's not having any of this DLSS garbage. It's like when like it's like people talking about electric cars. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh, new tech's garbage, bro. New tech's garbage is shitty. It's just shitty, bro. Oh, I gotta drink some more water. But I'm glad that you brought that up, Evan. Because even you could see. And you came in here discussing, like, yeah, I think DLSS and FSR is bad. But then, you know, you talked about, like, Crysis. You remember these other things that came out where they were called, you know, GPU killers, called extreme high-end, like, only for the high-end games. And there wasn't a DLSS or an FSR back then to scapegoat, but now there is, and it's moving. That means a good thing that old tech can run newer games with some decent FPS, with frame gen, etc. But I guess people are mad about that some games actually need this to be activated to even be playable. And that's fair. I feel like that's fair, but at the same time, the people who say that need to also confirm that they're on like hardware that warrants that complaint. Because there can be people who complain like that, who have stuff like, and there's people in the chat right now who've complained like that, who they have like, you know, they have like a 4080 Super, they have a 4090, and they have like a high-end AM5 chip, like a 7950X3D or a 9800X3D and stuff like that, and still to some extent they still need frame generation to hit that like decently high refresh rate, like 120, you know, level refresh rate. But for people who are on like PS5 level hardware, we're talking like a 3rd gen Ryzen chip, like a 3600, and we're talking something around the performance level of like a 6700 from AMD. And all of a sudden we have to like have this discussion of like, okay, well, if you have roughly console equivalent hardware, shouldn't you expect roughly console equivalent performance? That's a whole nother discussion, right? And it's like, are we gonna have like, because consoles, you know, you have your 30 FPS, you have your 60 FPS mode, and then for maybe more competitive games, you have like an unlocked frame rate for like Rainbow Six Siege and stuff like that. But you know, it's a that's where it gets a little sticky. That's where it gets a little complex. But anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm glad I was able to get that out of the way. Let me actually check something real quick before I keep yapping. If you didn't know, by the way, we are on YouTube and Twitch. Just want to point that out. So feel free to come over to your platform of choice. And yeah, at some point I think I'm going to make a video about that. Just about everything that I talked about. And just try to, I'll try to sum it up in like a decent presentation. Because I feel like, because if I can have people like Evan who come in here and they start off like, you know, on the other side of the argument, but they also see what I'm talking about, and they like understand my point of the argument, that sort of gives me hope that like, okay, you know, maybe we can concede a little bit. Maybe we can sort of get the point across. You know what I mean? I shadow quality medium. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I wish DLSS or FSR would do this shit in Tarkov. Doesn't matter if I turn on or off. And see, that's the thing too, right? That's another thing that I might talk about in the video too, is you have a lot of people, and I said this before already, but like to talk about your point, they don't know that DLSS or FSR only really helps them in CPU-bound scenarios. We're excluding frame generation here, by the way, just the upscaling part. It only helps you when you're CPU-bound, or GPU-bound. So when you're bottlenecked by your CPU, and they switch it, they think DLSS is shit because it's not helping them get more performance, when in reality, it's the fact that they have i7 9700 paired with a 4070 Ti. You know? It's like, oh, well, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know. Just food for thought, you know? Fully 12, did I have it on Epic? No, I had it on High. Let's see. Checked yesterday and Tarkov hardly utilizes 60% of my GPU. That means your CPU bottlenecked. Makes sense. Bro, I have an i9 4900K with 64 gigs of RAM. Whoa. Whoa, 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 stop. Full stop. Full stop. 64 gigs of RAM at 4200 megahertz? No. Is that DDR4? Or is that DDR5? DDR5? What? Brother man. Any more than that, my PC just crashes. Whoa, brother man. I don't know how to put this to you, bro. I don't know how to put this to you. 4-stick alert. That is exactly what I was gonna say. Do you have 4 sticks of memory? Because what we're gonna do, if you have 4 sticks of memory, we're gonna take out the first and the third stick. We're gonna run 32 gigs of memory. And we're gonna make sure XMP enables to get you to a speed that's not doo-doo fart. Because that is the reason why your performance is so ass. That is hamstring your performance so badly it's not even funny. It has been a while since I've seen DDR speeds that low. Like that is nearly DDR4 speeds. You're nearly there. Like you're right there. So that needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed pretty quick. I got 4 sticks as well and it runs at 6,000. I bet he might have bought 2 different kits and didn't buy like all the same type. And then he threw XMP on and then it shit the bed and had to lower timings like crazy in order to, or I had to increase timings like crazy and lower the speed in order to make it all compatible. It's the same kit for that. Okay, well that's good. But at this point, I'm just running default speed because of the crashes. Also, you should update your BIOS because you might be having Intel CPU degradation happen on your CPU. Which, I mean, if it got that unstable already, and if it was from the degradation, you can't stop it anymore. It's already happened. The degradation is done. Because Intel had that massive issue with oxidation. So, I would do that as soon as you can if you haven't already. But also, Evan, you said earlier, with a 7950 X3D, I shouldn't be bottlenecked. Just because you have a top-of-the-line, like, CPU doesn't necessarily mean you can't be CPU bottlenecked. Like, people think... Because of the stupid, like, bottleneck calculator bullshit online, people are like, oh, I'm 40% bottlenecked with my setup? What's going on? Or like they put in their high-end setup and it's like, oh, I'm 0% bottleneck. Sweet. And it's like, nope, it's not like that. Like you're always either CPU or GPU bottlenecked. And if it's not either, you're frame capped. And that's it. So... ASICS Road Strix Z790E gaming Wi-Fi board. Recently updated to latest. Oh, well, that's good at least. The fact that you can't support that speeds past 4200 is like a major red flag. Like that CPU should support at least like stably 6400, 6600, 7200. No, 7200 is a bit of a stretch, but there should not be issues getting to 6,000 at a bare minute. There should not be any issue. There should not be any issue. I would, honestly, Lazaro, I would take 2 of those sticks out, take the first and the third stick out, and see if it works. Yeah, I would run 32 gigs at 6,000 speed. Do you guys mind if we take a little bit of a road trip to see one more game? If you guys want to come on a trip with me, I may get demonetized for it, but that's okay. Because I just wanted to check out I wanted to showcase a little bit of the cyberpunk performance scaling that I was seeing, because I thought that was really interesting as well. And I just kind of wanted to talk about that and kind of showcase, like, the, oh, that's my friend right there. And showcase the difference. Because we talked about Unreal Engine 5 a lot, which I wanted to move to Cyberpunk, which is... What is Cyberpunk again? Isn't it their own proprietary engine? I forgot what it was called. Cyberpunk 2077 engine. Red Engine. But they're going to switch from this to Unreal Engine 5 for their next game. Which, of course, everybody's going to be like, oh no, Unreal Engine 5. Oh no. It's like, oh god. Here we go. Whoever at Epic came up with the shader loading shit in Unreal Engine should be fired. Well, if you don't want that to happen as much, don't update your GPU drivers as much, too, by the way. Little pro tip there, Evan. Like in Gray Zone, you know how you have a lot of shader compilation when you're running around the world? If you've played Gray Zone before. If you don't update your GPU drivers as often, those shaders stay cached, so you don't have to load them in as often. You have to have the shader compilation occur. Because every time you update your GPU drivers, it clears your shader cache. Wait, I'm the issue? Fuck my life. Once it does it once, as long as, like, unless the game gets a major update, or if you, like, update your drivers, it stays there, bro. Yeah. But if you're updating your drivers every week or whatever, that could be the issue. It is and will be a skill issue, yeah. All right, let's quickly switch, and then we'll move off it in a second. I just want to showcase it really quick. Stalker, for example, every start. Yeah, you won't need to do that as often. You don't really need to do that. Let me go to my registry. I don't need that on. That's why I modded it to not do that. You had to install a mod, bro? Oh my god, brother. Oh my goodness. Because I just want to showcase this real quick. Let me switch the topic. Okay. I was really worried. I was going to include some stuff from this as well in my discussion, because I feel like this is also like a poster child of Nvidia's. Oh my god, that's so loud for me. Oh Jesus. Oh my god, it's so loud. I'm lowering it for you. Oh my god. Wasn't expecting to see Alisar in a Tarkov stream. Well, Tarkov, yeah. Tarkov in quotation marks. Okay. I've never played Cyberpunk, by the way. Besides, like, just today. So, I don't know if I'm at a point yet.
Hey, everyone.
Oh.
Feels great to have you back.
It's so loud for me.
Did y'all hear about that Arasaka aircraft carrier docked in Night City? Called Kujira, or the Whale. Apparently, the Corp figured it wasn't safe in Japanese waters. Afraid...
Okay, there we go. I didn't realize I was in the loading screen. Oh, shit. Copyright infringement. Okay. So let me just lower the master volume a little bit. Okay. So... Just gonna mute that real quick. So what I found really funny in this game when I started playing it is if I go into graphics here, which by the way, this does have a slight issue with settings applying properly when you change them in the menus here for some reason, but originally I was running a DLAA here without any frame generation with this ray tracing effect. And I think I was also using ray reconstruction at times. Let me apply that as well. I'll only apply it after the game restart. Okay, that's fine. For ray reconstruction, I think. But this is what I was running at originally. Without all the tricks of the trade, right? So I'm running DLAA. I'm running native with ultra ray tracing. And the fact that people were saying that you couldn't notice the difference, like, or that it's barely noticeable between the ray tracing being on versus completely off, I thought was a little bit crazy. I feel like that's kind of a little bit insane that people can notice the difference between this and... Let me make sure it applied correctly. Yeah, that did. And this, I feel like that's fairly obvious. It's not as big of a difference in this scene as people, as some people would say, but what is this? Oh, okay. I want to get to driving as well. I haven't even gotten to the point in the game yet. I was trying to play this morning to get to the point where I'd be like free roaming, but I haven't gotten there yet. The funny thing is too, let me see if I can get to the... Let's see if I can get CPU bottlenecked. I've got a pretty beefy CPU, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. We'll keep ray tracing on, because... Holy shit. Wow. That's actually... Can you believe that? Can we talk about that for a second? That performance scaling? I want to talk about that. The performance scaling with DLSS, going from the different modes, is insane. It's genuinely insane. I loved using a sword and throwing knife build. A lot of fun. Hated using rifles, though. I've barely touched anything yet. So I might just play through a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if people are going to even stay to watch me play through a game that's not Tarkov or Grayzone, but still, I want to showcase some of the options in this game, because I think like the performance scaling is very interesting. If we're going to talk about like, oh, my performance is being ruined by ray tracing and all that, I feel like it's kind of a interesting piece, because it's sort of like an older game that has all these new features. Is that vodka in like a milk pouch? What the fuck? But hopefully, let me see. I don't know how far this is gonna be, but I just want to test it. Last wipe had 30% more performance. I don't... Everybody's been saying that, but like... Ah, the stupid damn radio's up again. Can we turn that shit off? Oh, wait, wait, hold on. There's an option in the audio for copyright songs, right? Yes. Oh, it didn't even turn it off. It didn't turn it off. This is about... This is running like streets.
You get any sleep? No matter. Time you got up.
I think I might have caught something when I jagged into that Corpo's biomon.
This is, with all the ray tracing, this is probably one of the few games that I've played that has all the features set and everything.
Let him tell me what's got my head reeling, my stomach churning.
Okay, let me take you. I brought you a ride. Yeah, throw on some threads, meet me downstairs.
Okay. You ever on Factory's worst or someone get almost half the FPS? That's insane, dude. That's not right. Like, I barely benchmarked a difference from the, in between the two different wipes. I put on path tracing. Can I do that without restarting the game? Let me check. Let me do the full experience. Oh my god, it's actually... I'm running DLSS quality, but like... Not a terrible experience. Let me keep it on for a little bit. I've never actually had hands-on experience with path tracing before.
What? Hey V, Regina Jones here. If you're looking for work in Watson, give me a call.
How'd you find me?
Feels like I'm in Chicago again.
I know where to gather my intel. Could even call me a collector. Later, V.
Oh, yep, just like Chicago. Also, why is the ping here? Okay. If you guys are wondering, by the way, if you're not from America, this is basically what America's like.
Feeders pouring in from shitholes you never even heard of.
Let me actually... I'm gonna quickly... I'm even running the transformer model here, which is nice. Okay. I'm gonna crank up the rest of the settings here. I'll keep volumetric lighting it high, though. That's okay. Nah, I know. I'm just joking with you.
I'd say it comes out even.
Well, maybe if we
Also-
close the borders, nobody tried to leave, huh?
Okay. That's okay. I forgot how I even got in here. I probably shouldn't have. Do I gotta go this way?
Piece of shit! Come on!
Oh, no.
Dude, this is... Okay, wait. Let me take this scene, for instance, right here, right?
No.
Also, if you could shut... Oh my god, bro. Jeez. Dude, I'm gonna... That's demonetization right there, bro. Holy shit. Do you see that guy? My god. Okay. Let's turn off... I want to turn off all ray tracing real quick, okay? Let's turn it off. This is no ray tracing.
There's enough for everyone. All brand new.
Absorb this scene.
The assembly line. Locked right. Yes.
And this is going to be path tracing. Whoop. Hopefully it applies.
Yesterday's convoy.
No difference, shitty game. Terrible optimization, shitty game. No, but seriously. Let me showcase one more. Is that me? Holy shit. Oh, this might be something here. That could be volumetrics, though. Some of the rainy streets would be perfect for this. Oh, excuse you. Oh, there's some reflections right here. This is perfect, actually. Because now it's screen space, but with path tracing, it should stop from being screen space. Oh, yeah. Look at the... I'm scared walking around here, bro. One wrong move and my channel's gone. But the reflections for sure are a ton clearer. And they actually look like they're being traced correctly. They're not just screen space. Wow, yeah. That's kind of crazy. Let's not look where the moans originate from. That's a good call. You know what? Good call.
Hey, yo, V. How about a round or two? What do you say? How you like my new punching bag? Just gave me a next-gen ass whooping, he did.
Look.
Curious to see how he handles the likes of V. So how about it?
You paste Nikita's face on that, and then the entire Tarkov community would be all over this thing. Okay. Let's get... I want to be able to get to, like, free roam. Entrance. Oh, never mind. Wow. It's kind of crazy looking. You know, this is kind of giving me... Maybe it's just because it's performing like Star Citizen, but it's giving me some Star Citizen vibes. I don't know if that's crazy to say, but it's giving Star Citizen right now. And two, if I ever make this video, which I probably will. Wow. Look at the reflection. That's crazy. Damn. But if I ever make this video, I'm gonna have to look at like some analysis of some of these graphics as well. CPU to Half-Life Crime. Okay. All right. Wow. Damn, dude. All right, let's take this scene too. Hold on. I'm just trying to. The car is actually a good place too. I'm just trying to see if I see like any ghosting or anything, even when using DLSS. It's so hard to spot. Now I want to take this scene, and then I want to turn off path tracing and ray tracing as a whole. I feel like the lighting turns so much flatter. You know what I mean? Like the sidewalk all through here. Let's take it. Let me put it back on real quick. Oh yeah. That's a whole different image.
Man of the hour.
Oh, oh boy.
Took you long enough. Worked up an appetite, just waiting. Sit down, let me finish this. Then we can drop in on Senor Vector.
I don't know. Ray tracing in Tarkov when? It's got to be coming soon. I mean, it's got to be coming soon. All right, let me see. Hopefully we can get some free roam after this, because I want to get a save where I can free roam and then talk about it.
Mentioned something about a surprise yesterday. Am I remembering right, or just had a brain fart?
Probably both, because you usually forget shit. But it just so happens, I think I might have bagged us a sweet-ass J.O.B.
Go on.
I want to mention too, real quick. This is kind of... I mean, I guess it's from me just playing Tarkov so much and stuff like that, but graphics like this... I mean, I can't believe I thought path tracing was going to be more intensive than this. I mean, I'm running path tracing right now with also high settings in game as well, which that's got to be of some meaning to some people. And I'm just using DLSS quality, not even frame gen, and I'm getting close to 60, which is insane. And I don't even need to run path tracing, and then I can get above 60, unless it didn't apply right, which is an issue with Cyberpunk, but still.
I mean, maybe it's not as big as that, but just that it's fronted by a little-known someone named Dexter Deshawn. Only the top fixer in Night fucking City. Fat-ass black Jesus of the afterlife. 300 pounds of partly gold-plated cool.
By the way, guys, this is a bit of a preview of what the in-game traders are like in Tarkov.
So what's the gig? We meant to come out in one piece?
Our Lord and Savior wants to tell you everything himself, face to face. Oh, no pressure, but this whole deal, he's riding on you now, I see.
All right. Let's hear what old Dex has to say. Set it up.
Dex
The
is
reason
a
I
real
want to get
deal when it
to
comes fixers.
the
Don't
driving
get me wrong,
section is because that's
don't
where a
got
lot of
nothing
people like to
against the
showcase the
Padre or
ghosting
Macaco,
too
but
with DLSS. So
his own. You know what I'm saying?
I got to get all the pieces together for this argument.
Don't get me started on fixers. They catch a client, find the cheapest gong to do the job, then drop their corpse at a landfill.
Shit. Hit the nail on the head, V. Gracias a Dios. Estoy lleno. Brought your wheels. Gave them to my guy yesterday to smooth over the dents after our dust up with the scabs.
Scavs? Here? No way, man.
Thanks, Jack. Much appreciated.
Okay.
Some top-notch work Miguel did. Rides like it looks. Factory new.
We'll see about that.
So we rolling or what?
Let's feel this factory new ride.
Bingo. Do you guys know also, I don't know if anybody else in chat has this, but if you have any other games that I should buy to like showcase for this, or like typical games where people say like, oh, it's unoptimized. Stalker 2 I know is one.
Ripper Duck.
But this was on sale for like really cheap, so that's why I got it.
I just ate.
Okay, I think there's, oh yeah, there we go.
I was
Here
supposed
we
to
go.
stop by Vic's anyhow. I got a date.
Body cam. I actually got that. One of my friends.
So sweet.
Oh wait, let me pause. One of my friends bought me that game for my birthday, and he bought it too, and we played it for 30 minutes and then refunded it. Like we were like, oh my god, this controls like shit. This plays awfully. And it also ran like shit on his system at the time, so we're like, okay, yeah, we're just like, it was just like, just terrible. It just felt terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Really gets me, you know.
Just not mouse steering. Not mouse steering. Got it. Let's see. Can I? Oh, I can scroll out a little bit. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Oh, now I can actually. I can drive around a little bit. I want to see if I can get DLSS transformer to just break. Let's see. I can really get the issues with frame generation. Or not frame generation, but upscaling. I feel like I'm totally gonna crash this. Oh, yep, totally. Genuinely? I mean, it's ultra performance. It's still fuzzy as hell. Oh, yeah, that... Oh, wow. Look at the railing on the left. Oh, my god. Oh, my goodness. Holy shit. Yeah. I guess I'm surprised by my own hardware. Alright. That's surprising. Okay. This is what people, like, I know this is what people think when they think of, like, upscaling. Like this sort of thing, you know what I mean? Where everything's, like, super pixelated and fizzly and gross, and this is what people think of in Real Engine 5, I mean, honestly. Oh, man, yeah, look at the ghosting there. Oh, okay. Oh, come on. Oh! Alright, fair enough. What are we working on today? Also surprised you're not playing Tarkov. I bought Cyberpunk this morning just because I wanted to use it as a discussion piece, because I was going to be talking about like game optimization and people using DLSS and FSR as an excuse for their like for poor performance for devs, and this whole like narrative that's getting pushed around of people being like, oh, it's just devs being lazy and using upscaling to excuse poor optimization, which frankly, I mean, I've been talking about it for the past 2 hours, so obviously the VOD's gonna be up of me ranting about it, but obviously my answer is sort of like no. That's not really what's going down. And I think I have a good idea of how I'm going to present that. Like, I'm probably going to use... Also, I have no idea how to turn off the radio. But I'm probably going to use... Okay. That's crazy. I'll just going to turn off the audio for a second. Because I'm probably going to use screenshots like... not like that, because that's going to get me demonetized. Like this, to showcase some of the differences in like path tracing and ray tracing versus not using it, and like where the industry is going to be moving and stuff like that, and what's going to happen. Because I'm going to use Gray Zone, you know, all those like the typical culprit games. Like I'm going to see if I can get Stalker 2, but I don't have all the money in the world. So we'll see, but I don't know. I'm definitely gonna use, now that I have this save, I'm gonna hit the save here and then just keep this. Because I'm gonna use this game and several others to just try to paint out what's kind of happening with the whole like games aren't optimized now sort of thing. And also let me just switch real quick and then boot back up Tarkov because I'm gonna be just kind of yapping from here on out. But I'm gonna use that. We'll get a couple pictures from there. Get a couple pictures from the benchmarks. We'll get some benchmarks, like the numbers and stuff like that. And hopefully I can make this work. I can sort of paint this to be let me switch back to Tarkov here and then. Okay. Hey man, happy to catch you live again. Last settings on Tarkov from January really helped me. Appreciate what you're doing. Thanks, man. I appreciate you watching, bro. Coming back to stream's original topic, the premise is that devs just enable DLSS instead of optimizing the games. But the devs could do that before without DLSS, just by downgrading graphic settings. Right. That's exactly... It's an issue of moving the goalpost. Because keep in mind, do we remember, like, when Cyberpunk 2077 was... on launch on the PS4 and the Xbox One? You remember that whole debacle, bro? Oh my god. That was a whole thing, because people were like, oh, these new generation graphics are ruining gaming. I can't run this on my PS4, bro. And they eventually fixed it, but like on launch they had like this whole issue, you know, with it. Trying to find cultists for 5 hours now. Did like 40 raids and only got them once. Jesus. Oh my god. That's yeah, I don't have the time to sink into that. That's why I haven't even been on Tarkov, like played it off stream in the past like month, dude. I've just kind of been existing with it. I'm gonna do a scab while I just keep yapping. But of course, General, thanks for watching, man. It's an issue moving the goalposts, really. Genuinely. And I don't know. I don't know if that's something that's ever going to be fixed, but I feel like I can make a dent. I feel like I can make an impact. I'm just not, I'm terrible, by the way, at like writing scripts, or not writing scripts, but like sticking to scripts and like reading them. Because if I'm just reading out a script, I'm going to sound super monotone, and I need to like, I'm going to have bullet points and then talk like I normally do, like on stream and stuff, to actually have this work. So I don't know. We'll see. This guy doesn't even invite people anymore. Oh shit, you're right. Fuck. Hold on. Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw some of the vids from Junker. He did jokes about that. Did he? I haven't seen. I just realized Junker hasn't come up in my feed in a while. I miss him. I miss his content, bro. I haven't seen him in like ages. But yeah, I don't know. Gray Zone's going to be a great example game too. I'm going to still loop in Tarkov, obviously, because also I'm looking for a group now. Streets 2, by the way, chat, if you want to join in on the scab raid. But yeah, it really is an issue of moving the goalpost, I think. I'm going to lay down the keyboard and lurk. Have a good one. You too, Evan. Thanks for coming in, bro. Glad to have you. Your vids are doing a good job to ease the work for all of us, man. Well, that's the goal, hopefully. Discord DM? Uh-oh. Bro. Bro, are you serious? Dude, you did... Hold on, chat. Are you serious, dude? You didn't have to do that, man. Hold on. Thank you, bro. Holy shit, bro. Thanks, man. You did not have to... That's crazy, dude. Thanks, bro. He just... Well, there we go. Stalker 2 is gonna be in there, I guess. Wow. Holy shit, bro. This is gonna... Thank you, man. Shit. It's 155 gigabytes? What the What is this? You guys seeing this? What the hell? Also ignore the fact that I have skibbity back rooms installed. Don't look at that. What? That's insane, bro. Yes, he did. W Stewart, bro. Oh my god. Okay. Wait, let me refresh. I see Equinox. Level 1, I'm getting him in here. I don't know why. Where are you, Wild? I mean, you're on my friends list. How are you at version 13? I'm at 16.2. I'm at 16.2. Did the game just update or something? $250 audio. Unheard. Hold on, chat. While Wild fixes stuff for the people in here, just give me 1 second. I really gotta go to the bathroom, chat. Give me 1 second. I really gotta go to the bathroom. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the Twitch. I'm on Twitch and YouTube, by the way. And Discord, XASmart Discord in the chat. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Also, I don't think so, Wild. You didn't have to last time, I don't think. Hold on. Okay. All right. Stay hydrated, chat. He's in the toilet. I almost fell in. Hold on. I'm gonna invite Wild. Oh, you guys are already in the group. Good. Okay. No, your name's not Wild. What is it? Scav? No life? Was it? What was it? I'd maybe argue it's an issue of perspective, again, language, and how in-game settings work. Because if the DLSS setting selector worked as you get better image quality at the same performance with occasional artifacts, not as a more performance button, right? Would there be such an outcry? I'm screenshotting your message, if you don't mind. That is exactly how I need to phrase it. That is like verbatim how I need to phrase this discussion. That's like perfect. That's like exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, I think it's an issue with how it's being marketed. Oh, that's right. It's $250 audio. Thank you. You changed that. Wait, you changed that recently. Wish I was home. I love this. I love the Scav army. Can I? Oh, it's only up to 4. I thought it was 5 on streets. Did they change that recently? That's yeah, Deep Space. You hit the nail on the head there. Because like it's people thinking that like, oh, if it was phrased as just a positive thing and people weren't aware, right, of like artifacts, like of the horrible artifacts, which are only gonna get less of an issue as these become better and better. Scene. Thank you. I got it. I gotta have a command for. Actually, no. That's a terrible idea. I'm not giving a command to chat to change it for me. That is not a good idea. That is a terrible idea. Never mind. Scrap that. Throw that idea out. Also, if you hear a fan, I'm going to turn it off in a second. I'm just trying to cool down my room. Oh, man. The issue is, too, that, like, for my PC setup, they're both under a, like, desk sort of thing. And I'm going to try to get a different one soon. But, like, in the meantime, the hot air just kind of goes up and hits this desk. And it's not really, like... There's no flow of air in my room. It just kind of builds up because I have a vent closed. Because... of issues, let's just say. I won't get into them on here. But because of said issues... and also in the winter, there's just heat that comes through there. But because of that, there's no like real airflow when I have my door closed, and so it just turns into a fucking hot box if I don't have a fan blasting cool air from the outside into my room. A PvE raid after this? Oh, I could do community PvE raids. Wait. You're cooking with that. That might be a fire idea. Because I have stuff on my PvE. My PvE is higher than my PvP account. Which is kind of crazy, but that's where we are right now. Hold on, let me... Oh, there we go. While we're matching, I could just start this download. Hold on. Look at this, bro. We're zooming on the download. Only 37 minutes. Oh no, actually, we're going down a good bit. You don't want to see my PvE? There have been people on my PC Sherpa who have come in to like showcase like their stuff, and they have like literally almost 1 billion rubles on PvE. They're like prestige 2 level 70 on PvE. It's like, how do you even like, are you just like glued to your chair? Do you just like not leave your room? And it's not even like an insult, like it's just like a genuine question. Like, how do you even, like how do you have that amount of time? Like, you've played through the wipe 3 times in, like, that's insane. I don't even... What's the blue flare do? A GPU trade is crazy. $280 million? Oh my god. Like, my friends don't even play Tarkov anymore, but one of my friends still logs on to Tarkov just to collect his Bitcoin farm, and then he logs out again. It's a mortar strike. Oh shit. Does that work right now? Like, does that genuinely work? Or is it like just like a planned thing? It does. Oh shit. How have I not seen footage of that? Some people have infinite time to spend in a chair. It's like, even if I came home every night from work and then all weekend, like, if I dedicated every single bit of time to playing Tarkov every single day, like, I don't even know if I could hit Kappa once. Like, I don't, like, in a wipe. I don't even know if I, like, would be able to. I don't know if I would have that amount of time. Like, it seems like impossible. I don't know, like, or sorry, not prestige, just level 70 with that amount of money. Or if he had prestiges, it must have been a PvP account, which also is crazy, by the way. That's true. Inflation is crazy. What are they going to do about that? How are they, will they ever, like, address that? How, like, what do you even do? I feel like it's, like, impossible to fix that at this point. Labs Green is going for 12 mil in PvE right now. Oh my god. Yeah, me and my friends used to just run Labs raids on PvE all the time. You play PvE without touching Flea? Disable the Flea on the on PvE. Problem solved. That would, could you imagine the reaction of the player base to that? Oh lordy. Oh my god, it would, you never hear the end of it, bro. We're finally loading too, that's huge. Now let me turn off my fan. Oh, cooled down by 6 degrees in my room just by me blasting the fan in. It's like I was blasting air from like a refrigerator into my room. That's crazy. Prestige on PvE would fix it, but that's only in the short term, you know? I should probably pause this while we're playing. It might, I don't know, we could see how it goes. We can see how it goes. Oh. Oh, it's not terrible. It's actually not too bad. Alright, do I have everything set up correctly? I do. Awesome, okay. Where are we even gonna go? Where should we go? Oh no. What have I done? Oh. That's right. Stuart said in chat it's 100% boss raids. We should go to like Kill Mob or something. We should go to the mall and try to like loot the guards there or something. They killed them. Fourth guy's AFK. Let's go. We could get to Lexos. Wait, do we want to go to Lexos or kill him off? Left for Lexos, right for kill him off. Leaning.
Your left or our left?
Oh shit. Yeah, let's go Lexos. You know what? Fuck the voting. Democracy is fraud anyway. Let's go. Oh my god. That download in the background is is fucking with my performance right now. Already dead bodies. Careful. Hey, the rain isn't deafening for once.
Well, only a couple people are dead here.
Is the boss really not here? Ooh.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, fellers.
Well, that's a random dude.
Can't find the Kabusi body anywhere. Is this Kabusi?
Oh wait, is this guy's got big pockets right here.
Yeah, that's Gus. Or the other one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where Kabusi died though.
Maybe inside? What ammo's in here? Oh, never mind. Let's load this up. Ditch this. Bingo. Let's actually keep this down here. Where's that fucker?
Oh shit.
Oh, this is another one of the guards. Alright. This state. Oh, I'm just gonna ditch that then. I want this KS-23. That's a weapon of true champions there. The whole scav rep system, Doom, as a whole, I don't know if I said this yet, but I don't know. It's kind of, eh. I mean, I like the idea and concept of teaming up with, like, other scavs and stuff. But, like, when you get to it, sometimes it just, like, punishes you for no fair reason, you know? I don't know. Kind of on the fence. I do like it, but, like, I don't know. Feels like it like, just leaves scavs to, like, just be looting unless you're, like, trolling. You know? Oh, I found Kaban. He's got a, whatchamacallit? That's not what that's called. Not a Mark 43. What is that called? M60. There we go. It's M60. Oh, shit. Oof, what? Oh. Is that loaded? Jesus. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. This is full of M61. Holy shit. Oh, I got the code for the smuggler's basement. I got that extract. Oh. Oh, airdrop, nice. I think this is mostly full too, hold on. Check this. Oh my god, that's a full box too. Holy shit. Dude, this is not messing around. Kabam with that is crazy work. How do you do that? How do you do that? I don't know how he does. I can't do that. He just spams it. Like, you can't spam it most of the time. Oh my goodness, the stampede. Whoa, the reverb. Did you hear that? Oh. God. It scared me. God. This is gonna be the entire rest of the red. Ooh, the slugs. Those are ass, but I'll take a stack anyway. Okay. Alright. No gooning in the scab raid. You can't just throw vapes like that, bro. No vaping in the scab raid. Don't get me wrong, I like the rep system, but when a guard or boss shoots you first and defend yourself, you shouldn't lose rep. Yeah, now that makes sense. It's like it's just saying like, oh, just stay away from them. It's your fault you're getting shot. You got too close. Oop. And that's like, how does that like make any sense for like the end user, you know? Oh my goodness. Going back to DLSS, even if my hypothetical scenario of it being postponed or positioned as an image enhancer, people knew about artifacts, I don't think that would be a problem. Like, I'm semi-seriously wondering if a lot of the outcry could have been avoided / could be stopped if there was a mode that was strictly focused on image quality and didn't affect FPS. Yeah, right. Like, if there was like a DLAA mode that they marketed as like a DLAA mode, but it like didn't have an impact on performance. Like, it just made the game look better. Like, if they had it like an ultra quality plus sort of thing, you know what I mean? Gotta commute home. If you're still on, I'll catch you in a minute. If not, thanks as always. I'll see you, Ghost. This will probably be my last raid, but thanks for hanging out, man. Hopefully I made work pass a little bit quicker. Thanks for hanging out as always, bro. You have a good night. Where the fuck? What the what are you doing? How the how did you do that? What the I didn't even know. Was this like this before? Was there... Did I just never look up in here? What? Oh. You could squeeze through that? What the? I'll see you, Ghost. How's this doing? Okay, not bad.
I hate this game.
Oh, what's this? Oh, thanks. Hold on. No, I got an idea. Oh. A boost. No, it's like something between yeah, if they had like an 85% or a 90% mode. Yeah. Oh. I just did it first try. My bad. You have to look at it, if you look at it like slightly to the right and then walk into it and then do it. It was really easy. Alright. This is insane. Oop. Oh. Oh, I'm very heavy. Okay. Whoa. Oh, shit. Oh.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. Oh my god. I have morphine. This is crazy. How do you mount to a... Forgot how you do it. Oh, here comes the airdrop.
You can land on this car, by the way, without breaking legs.
Oh. I'm already in here. Did he fall or was he I totally pushed him. I totally pushed him. I didn't mean to, but I totally did. Oh my god. I don't... Is this gonna land right here? Oh, Jesus, what is that line, bro?
Help me.
I still don't know how he does that. Holy. How much you want to bet? I'm calling a food crate. Oh, medical. Wait.
Better have a splint.
This does not look like it's got vodka and Coca-Cola. What? There's one splint. I'll take that. Whoa, moonshine. Oh, there goes that. Wow. That was pretty terrible. I'm gonna be honest, that was something.
Door stuck.
Oh, can't get through the door, man. Oh my. Oh wow. Well, that was shitty. Alright. Got 15 minutes. We could go to Smuggler's Basement. In the, oh. Oh. I know it must be done. Like a real man. Wait, where's the fourth one? It's gone. Oh, where are you going now? Don't get blown up by a mine, please.
Why is vaulting broken?
Oh. You can vault on top of the barbed wire. Oh, shit. The fuck?
I can't vault anymore. What?
Do you still have a broken leg?
No.
Oh.
Yo, sorry, disconnected for a bit.
Oh, you're good.
Thanks, Nikita.
Oh. I don't think I can get up here. Nah, I can't. It's too tall. That's, Oh, that's alright. We just gotta get to an extract. Oh, shit. Oh, it's only one. Well, that's better than nothing. I broke both my legs. I still got painkillers from the vodka. Let's go to, let's go to Kill Mob or something? No. We'll make it.
Code.
Nothing there. Is Smuggler's Basement closer?
Yes.
Let's go there. I got the code.
You want to rob a bank?
Shout out Payday. Damn. Whoa. That might be a PMC right here. Hello? Did one of you guys just shoot, or was that them? Swear to God, I just got shot at. Is that one of you? Oh my God. You know it's a scav army, that's what we do here. Yep.
Что тут кто? Нет кого-то?
I can't believe I got this M60. This is crazy. Oh shit, the painkillers just wore off. Almost there. I got morphine, but I want to save it for the quest. Like, I really care about that, but still. How's this download going? Okay, we're almost there.
Fast frames.
You want to extract? I gotta open it. Are you coming? Yeah, he's coming. Okay. Alright, get ready. Boom. Ooh. What are you? You don't like my shoes? Oh! Oh! Ban them. Ban them all. Ban them all. Fire scav raid though, dude. Holy shit. Who wouldn't take the M60? Who wouldn't take that? That's insane. I mean, I'll take it. Shit. The rest of this I'll probably vendor. But damn, dude. Seriously, who wouldn't take that? Why was that just left there? It's like they killed him and then just like didn't loot him. Well, they looted like some stuff, but not everything. It's weird. It's 200 rounds, bro. He had 100 in here, and then he's got 100 in here. It's crazy. I guess, I mean, yeah, that's true. I guess late wipe, nobody cares. I guess that's fair. But damn, dude. You yoinked. Oh my god, so there was, damn. There was that much? Jesus, dude. It's genuinely insane. Holy shit. Ooh, stretch. Also, Chad, is it true that gotta keep you broke? All right. Is it true that this event's only lasting like a day? Cause I saw that was posted on like on Twitter that like the time was only like a very, very short amount of time. And I was like, that's odd. That's kind of weird. It was like it was like 7 hours or something like that. All right, one more morphine. Oh my goodness. We're making it places, chat. Maybe by the end of the wipe I'll get setup done. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. I'm just gonna list this up on the market and then I will, what time is it? Yeah, I should probably pop out. W stream though. Why didn't you say you needed more if I had two? What? Oh, you must have been DC'd. I thought I said, didn't I say? Oh shit. Well, sorry. That's alright. It's not the end of the world, bro. Don't worry. Thanks for being here though, y'all. Even though I've been switching around a lot from Gray Zone to Cyberpunk to this, back and forth, but I'm excited to actually make that video. I think it'll be a fun little project for me. It's gonna take some time though, but imagine questing in 2025. Yeah, I mean, for real at this point. Once you get to max traders, does it really matter? But I don't know. I don't know. You gotta go to prestige, man. You gotta prestige. You gotta get the cyberpunk background, bro. You have to. It was an honor. It was an honor to have you guys here today. I'll be back again next Friday. I will work on getting that DLAA in quotation marks video up. Hopefully by the end of the week, so that by the time I'm streaming on Friday, I got that video up. And yeah, we will see you next Friday, 6:30 p.m. CST. Why did you push me off though? All right, I didn't mean to do that. I vaulted up and you were there, okay? And I thought there was like a little ledge or something because you were just standing there. And I'm not trying to kill y'all, okay? I'm not trying to kill y'all. Crazy. I didn't know. But anyway, y'all, thanks for being here. It was a good stream. I will see you all soon. Thank you, Stuart, by the way, as well. W. Stuart, thank you, Stuart, as well. That was really nice of you. I think this, yeah, this just finished. Is that a bug? Is that a bug? You're gonna reinstall Grayzone? Welcome to the party, brother. Oh. Dude, the next update's gonna be heat, bro. It's a bug? Okay. I was about to say, like, chat? Yeah, chat, is that real? Okay, 155 gigs. Still insane, but that's okay. Alright, huge. But, yeah. Well, maybe we'll try this next time. Maybe I'll do a stream in the middle of the week sometime if I got some time for a couple hours after work and stream some of this. See how this runs. That'll be a hell of a thing. But, yeah, I'll ping if I do that. Make sure you join the Discord, Twitch, yada yada. Follow my Twitter if you want to see me complain. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next Friday. Peace.